Hello, my name is Kim, and in this reading, we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to this Aries season of 2025, which begins around March 20th and ends around April 19th. So for each group, I will be sharing with you an intuitively channeled message, and I will also be picking out a card from the spread that you see here. And to help me with that, I will be working with a pendulum. I will then work with El Tarot to get clarifying cards, and to receive a little bit more info, I will be utilizing homemade divination dice. And at the end of each reading, I will be pulling out an extra oracle card from this deck to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance that will apply for this Aries season. And if you are planning to watch or listen to one of the groups, please keep in mind that not everything that is said in the reading is set in stone, since energy is malleable, fluid, therefore it can shift and change in accordance with our actions, decisions, and even way of thinking, which is why we are often reminded that it is us who shape our destiny. Okay, so with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. There are 3 different groups to choose from. Representing group 1 is the Fox. Representing group 2 is the Raven. Representing group 3 are the Geese. Please take a moment to meditate on the options, whichever you are drawn to the most, and that will be the group and a reading meant for you. And once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below, where the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group can be found. And if you are ready, then let's get started. Let's go. Hello, if you selected group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. So this Aries season, you will be in this mindset or energy of attraction or attracting, calling in. When meditating on the energy of this group, I kept hearing the word come to me. And I sort of saw in my mind's eye someone doing this kind of gesture of like reeling in. So you may find yourself being pretty optimistic or having this strong resolve of I can attract, I will attract, I call in good things, or I am calling in good things. And I do sense that this is reaping you rewards, or it is working for you, because one message that did come through, again, when connecting with the energy of this group, was celebrating a victory. So for those of you who are attracting, manifesting, or you are in this mindset of calling in this Aries season, I see you celebrating because this approach has worked for you or has given you results. But regardless of whether you are actively manifesting this Aries season, I do see you celebrating some kind of victory. Now, something else I found interesting was that the word Pisces kept coming to mind. And I kept thinking of Pisces season. So Pisces season could be of significance for you guys. Maybe you were born during Pisces season, or someone who was born during Pisces season will be playing a significant role in your life during Aries season. It could also be that something that begun or that you were dealing with during Pisces season has carried over to or is being brought up again this Aries season. Or it could be that if you begun something during Pisces season, or it is during Pisces season that you begin manifesting or setting intentions, attracting, calling in, it is during this Aries season that you will be seeing results or seeing some kind of development, while others of you could be completing or wrapping something up this Aries season and doing so successfully. Okay, but now let us pull out a card. So to do this, I will be working with the pendulum. So the pendulum will direct us to your card. Okay, so it seems like there's a card over here. And it is the 12th house with Saturn in Pisces and the key term loss. So it's quite interesting how I mentioned Pisces at the beginning, and then we literally have Pisces in this card. So once again, Pisces season or the zodiac sign Pisces could be of significance. If you experience some kind of loss during Pisces season, and what is coming through in specific is a financial loss, then it is during Aries season that you are going to be experiencing some form of recovery, or you will be working towards like a financial recovery per se. Blackbirds, ravens, or crows could be of significance. You could be seeing them a lot flying over your residence or making nests nearby where you live during this Aries season. Or maybe you have been seeing crows, ravens, blackbirds a lot recently, and this could be serving as some kind of confirmation. Yet with the planet Saturn here, which is the planet of discipline, this Aries season, you are applying yourself, being a little bit more disciplined, especially if you are aiming to recover or make some kind of recovery. Even a comeback is how it's coming through. Pisces tends to be very dreamy and imaginative, as well as wishful. Yet it being combined with Saturn, there is something here about your dreams, your wishes, they can come true if you apply yourself, if you act towards your dreams, if you take the necessary steps to bring a vision of yours to life, for example. Because what is coming through is there could be some kind of loss, or maybe there has been, due to a lack of self-discipline or a lack of structure is how it's coming through. Now, some of you might have experienced a loss that was out of your hands, out of your control. And during this Aries season, you are processing that, either mourning or grieving or finding closure. Yet for others of you, I feel this has more to do with something that is or can be influenced by you, by either your actions or your lack of action. And so something that is coming through is if you feel like something is lost, like there's no way to recover it, or there's no way to come out of it or redeem yourself perhaps, then you're being let known that there is something that can be done. Because for some, you are being reassured that something is reversible, or that it is reversible. So only apply that if it makes sense for your situation or any situation that you are dealing with. Because what is now coming through is prevention. So for some, this could be about preventing a loss, preventing something from going to some kind of extreme. So this Aries season, you could be working to create or make improvements, or to keep something at bay is how it's coming through. So something that is coming to mind, just as an example, doesn't have to be your specific situation. It's just an example that is coming to mind to illustrate this energy is like to prevent cavities, you would want to maintain dental or oral hygiene, right? Brush your teeth after you eat a meal, or at least 3 times a day, floss, that sort of thing, right? So this season, you could be focusing more on, again, taking the necessary steps to improve upon something, to recover, or to prevent, like taking preventive measures in a very mindful and self-aware or healthy way is how it's coming through. Or that is the advice, because Pisces, again, can be dreamy at times and can over-idealize things. So with Saturn, you are being advised to be a little bit realistic about the situations, right? Not take it to any kind of extreme, because it is maintaining a realistic approach, or a more maybe even practical approach that is going to give you better results, and it's going to make the experience a lot more pleasant, or a lot more feasible and manageable than if we were to take a more idealistic approach towards getting better, doing better, creating better habits perhaps. Because I don't know why, with the 12th house, I do get this feeling of this season, some of you possibly working to create or establish healthier habits, tendencies, routines, even patterns. So a lot of you could be taking better care of your health, of your physique. You could be making improvements or adjustments when it comes to self-care, possibly even hygiene or diet, because we do have this crow, feeding off of this animal here. Now, because Pisces can speak about illusions and dreams, I do sense that an illusion is going to be shattered this Aries season. which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you get to decide how you interpret the messages, right? It's just I'm sharing with you what I am sensing. And what I'm sensing is that this illusion being shattered is not a bad thing, because this illusion, it was either deceptive or it was insecure is how it's coming through. Because we do have this house in the background. The example that is coming to mind is a house that looks beautiful on the outside and that promises protection. The closer you get to the house and the more you inspect it, you realize that this house is actually made out of cardboard and that its foundation is unstable. So this house could fall at any minute. It could just come crumbling down. So this season, something that wasn't founded on truth or was not being completely honest or sincere or wasn't or isn't sustainable, secure, safe, is either being revealed as such or it's simply falling away. But I do see some kind of unmasking occurring during this Aries season. So masks and illusions will be falling away during this time, which might help a lot of you understand why possibly some things weren't working out or why you kept experiencing a lot of obstacles or challenges when it pertained to whatever it is that is being unmasked. So just as an example, again, let's say, because we do have a couple here, person A was trying to get closer to person B, or they wanted to develop their relationship with person B. But every time they tried, they experienced some obstacle, resistance. Like it wasn't easy getting close to person B, or things just didn't seem to work out between person A and person B. And this Aries season, person A is finding out that this is because person B wasn't exactly who person A believed them to be. Maybe person A had created or had this idea of who person B was, and it is this idea that they were attracted to, but then something about person B is revealed to them that completely shatters person A's illusion about person B. And that helps them realize like, oh, okay, well, seeing person B in this light, I now understand that we're not a good match, or that being in a relationship with this person is not ideal, at least for me, for person A. Again, but that's just an example, right? Because this could pertain to anything. Now what is coming to mind, because we do have this building in the background, it's making me think of like an institution or a company. Like maybe someone was trying to get hired at a company, but it just wasn't working out. And then this season they find out that this company is going bankrupt, or they were doing some shady business, or they're in debt or something along those lines, right? So this Aries season, you could be finding out that the reason why some things weren't working out was because you were being protected. But I do want to pull out a clarifier. And we have the devil with vices, temptation, and manipulation. Yeah, it seems like this Aries season, you're realizing how you have been actually protected from things that were not of your highest good. Or this Aries season, you could come to realize what is actually keeping you in an unhealthy loop, pattern, or cycle. The devil is making me think of tendencies. So I do feel that this Aries season, a lot of you are going to become aware of any negative habits and or tendencies that you currently have, or anything that you are repeating in your day-to-day that is unhealthy or isn't exactly conducive to your overall well-being. And a lot of you, once you come to realize what these are, whether they be habits, tendencies, a way of thinking, maybe even certain connections, relationship, or even environments that you tend to frequent. I'm also seeing something like a routine or a lifestyle. You will be addressing it, which is a good thing. And I feel like that's something that is being recommended, to address it and find ways to improve or to get out of these patterns, get out of these situations, or distance yourself from that which encourages or enables bad habits, tendencies, or even mindsets. Because I feel what you are being let known is that something can be done about it. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Like, things don't have to continue being a certain way, especially if they're not working for you. You can do something about it. You can bring about change, right? We do have vices here. Yeah, so for a lot of you, this could be speaking about vices. And actually, this card, according to the guidebook, can indicate counseling or therapy. So some of you could actually be seeking professional advice, help, or guidance, right? Because we all could benefit and do benefit from receiving assistance, especially when we are at a loss, when we are finding it difficult to see something from a different perspective, when something is quite confusing, when we feel stuck possibly. So that could be the case for some. Maybe there is something that you feel stuck in, or that you are stuck in, and you might feel like there's no way out, and you're being let know there is a way out, or there is a way through. It's just maybe we need to see it from a different perspective, a different angle, take a different approach. And so maybe talking it out with someone, discussing this with another, especially someone who is a lot more experienced in this or has gone through this themselves and found a way through or found a way out, will help a lot with that. So this Aries season, I do see you guys working on your health, whether it be your physical, mental, emotional, even spiritual health for some, because this Lust card can also speak about an interest in the occult or anything metaphysical or esoteric or even spiritual with the 12th house. Right. But there is something here about this Aries season realizing that there's more than one way, because these two cards are making me think of like the shadow aspect of something. And it's like you're recognizing that there is a light side of things as well. Or there's something here about like tackling or approaching the shadow side or aspect of something with a lighter approach. Maybe even with a more practical approach is how it's coming through. But definitely this Aries season, I do see you creating new habits. And there's something here about if you are wanting to release old habits, you might be doing so by simply starting new healthier habits, right? So instead of putting all of your focus and energy on destroying the old habits, what you're doing is focusing on creating new and healthier habits. And in you doing that, you will automatically be releasing the old negative habits or tendencies, because it's like showing your brain, hey, look, there's another way. There's a healthier way, and this healthier way feels good, and it even feels better than the old way. It's like how you approach skepticism. If you talk in theory with a skeptic, they're going to have a difficult time believing in your theories because what they need is proof. And so if you give them tangible proof, they are more likely to believe or to consider what you're telling them than if you just give them theories, right? So it's the same thing here. It's like for your brain, it might help you take action first and show your brain like, hey, we can do this, and it actually feels good and it's a lot more fun. And what's even better about this, it's that it's healthy and that it lasts longer, because the devil can often talk about short-term gratification, right? And so you could be starting new habits or patterns that are a lot more sustainable and that give you results for the long term instead of just for in the moment. And by you showing your brain like this is possible, then that is going to encourage your brain to do more of the new and kind of lose interest in the old, like those short-term gratification tendencies or vices that weren't healthy. And all of a sudden I thought of like a diet, and I don't mean this as in going on a diet. It's more like about changing or looking more into the ingredients, the kind of foods you're consuming. Yeah, so some of you could be dropping certain ingredients, foods, because you see that they do have some kind of negative effect on your physical body, or maybe even on your stamina. There's something here about like willing yourself to eat ingredients or foods that are, again, a lot healthier for your physical body, are healthy for your brain, healthy for your mind. Yeah, because I'm not a dietitian or nutritionist, so please don't take the following as factual, but from my personal experience, what I have realized is that there's certain processed foods that when I consume them, I experience a lot of brain fog afterwards and lethargy as well. And it makes it a little bit more difficult for me to focus and even remember things. And before I noticed this, before I became aware that it was the foods that were causing these symptoms, I thought that it was something more to do with me, like that there was something wrong with me. So that could be the situation for some, maybe something that you have been at a loss with, something that you didn't understand why you were feeling this way, or why you had these symptoms, or what was the reason behind something you were experiencing this Aries season. You're finding out that the reason, and a lot of you could be finding that the reason or the cause is something that is external, something that is outside of you, something that you can drop, something that you can release, something that you can let go of and see immediate improvement or betterment once you have done so. And there is a warning here for some, and this might only be for a select few. So please use your discernment here. Only apply the messages if they truly do resonate or if they make sense for your situation. So what I'm seeing is there is a heads up about being mindful of maladaptive coping mechanisms, not falling into this trap of using some kind of vice or unhealthy or unhelpful actions to cope. Yeah, because the devil can speak about like addiction, attachments, and codependency. And it can also sometimes talk about masking, the things we do to avoid feeling intense emotions or feeling our emotions or addressing certain things that at the moment might be difficult. And so you're being advised to be mindful of this because there are healthy ways of coping. And if you're not ready to address something or face something that at this moment feels quite heavy to you, you can simply acknowledge that, right? And distract yourself with things that do no harm to you or to others. Because there's nothing wrong with distractions. It's just more about what these distractions are and if they are helpful, if they are healthy and healing. Yeah, because I am noticing that we have all these people on their phones. So some of you could be spending a lot of time on your phone, or you could be spending a lot of time on social media, and that could be a way of distracting yourself from certain things. So the very same thing, right? Being aware of whether something is actually helping you or whether it's just preventing healing, preventing growth, or it's keeping you in some kind of loop, or is enabling or encouraging this feeling of being at a loss, like believing that you don't have it in you to make a positive difference or a change or to help yourself move through something or feel better or experience positive change. What just came through was loss of signal. So some of you could be experiencing a bad signal during Aries season. Maybe the electricity or the internet will go down for a while. And I think we are entering Mercury retrograde pretty soon. Or I think we already have. We might already be in Mercury retrograde. Yeah, and so during Mercury retrograde, these things tend to happen. So you might be experiencing technical difficulties or disruptions in like signal, Wi-Fi signal, cellular signal during Mercury retrograde. And there is something here about this Aries season. You might be, this is a very strong word, but you might find yourself forced to go outside or be outside or spend your time doing something different. Because we do have these people on their phones. It makes me think of someone who spends a lot of time in an app. And like this Aries season, that app could be experiencing some technical difficulties, and that will force you to like do something else because this, which you're usually focused on, it isn't working, right? And I sense this to be a good thing. It's like this is happening for a reason because you are being advised or encouraged to focus on something else, to remove your attention away from this. Because this, whatever you're being kind of encouraged to move your attention away from, could be the very thing that is keeping you in some kind of unhealthy loop, or that is an unhealthy distraction. Yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. Because if you do end up experiencing something along those lines, see how you react from you not having this or this not being available or accessible to you. see if you feel better or you feel anxious. And if that is the case, take a moment to, if you feel called to, introspect as to the why you are responding or reacting this way. Because I feel like whatever this is something that you don't actually need. Like, it's literally with the devil, this is something that it's not a necessity. It's not something that if you were without it, you would suffer. On the contrary, it's something that if you were to release it, you would see a lot more improvement or experience some kind of betterment. So just keep an eye out for that. But now I want to pull out some homemade divination dice. So although this energy sounds pretty heavy, I feel like this Aries season is a time of cleansing. You're being given several opportunities to either start anew, reinvent yourself, reinvent your life, or to find closure, to heal, to create positive changes as well. You're being shown and let know that you can turn your life around for the better if you feel like that is needed. And interesting. So we have the pause icon with the cauldron. So the cauldron can indicate something being in the works, something brewing. But because we have paused here, I feel like this Aries season, again, you will have the opportunity to change things, because it makes me think of you having the opportunity to change something that is already in motion, something that is already in the works, right? So just to give an example, because this is a cauldron, let's say someone is cooking a stew and they're at the last stages. The stew is almost done and they taste it and it's not to their liking. It doesn't taste good. This person either has the option of leaving the stew as it is and feeling pretty dissatisfied about the result, or adding a little bit of salt, a few more spices to it to improve the taste, right? So it's like a moment of, we can just let this play out and let this be, or we can make adjustments. We can do things differently. We can make a change of direction. Right, so you're being let known that this season is a time in which you can make changes and that you can definitely change the outcome of something. There's something here about it's not too late. So that's something to consider for this Aries season. And this could also be true with reinforcing something, right? So this Aries season, as mentioned, you could either change the direction of a manifestation perhaps, or you can reinforce it. If you like what you're seeing, if you like where something is going, then what you can do this Aries season is reinforce it by either doing as you have been doing, because this is what has led to whatever it is that you are experiencing that you are liking, or you can call more of it in, right? Because I did mention something about calling it attracting at the beginning. And actually the cauldron often makes me think of that, of manifesting, of creating. So if something doesn't end up manifesting this Aries season, it's because this Aries season feels like a check-in, like universe is checking in with you. Like, this is how things are progressing. Do you like it? Do we continue? Do you approve? Or do we make adjustments? Do we change some things up? And then that will be your call, right? Yeah, so some of you could actually be getting some kind of checkup done this Aries season, and that might be what will help you kind of see and understand where you are at and what is needed to either change things if that is what you want, or to continue reinforcing, as mentioned before. Yeah, because for whatever reason, now I thought of like taking a car to get checked out by a mechanic and then becoming aware of how the car or the vehicle is doing and what kind of maintenance it needs, if it needs any, or just being reassured that all is well. And if they want to continue maintaining their car, to just keep doing as they have been doing. Right, so it will vary and it will very much depend. But yeah, this Aries season feels like a time of opportunities, a time of either getting down to business or getting out of cycles, getting out of patterns, or starting new ones that are healthier, more conducive. Or there's even something about reclaiming your power, getting your sovereignty back, starting that journey of healing, feeling empowered. And what just came through is like owning your life. Okay, but to end your reading, I just want to draw out one more oracle card. And we have Mercury with mindset, the key phrase, a fox surveys the landscape, with the message, notice the way you assess and interpret a situation. Discover a new, more objective perspective by writing in a journal, talking to a trusted counselor or friend, reading or learning. Most of all, find clarity by listening to your inner wisdom. Yeah, so I did speak about some of you possibly reaching out to a professional, talking with a counselor, talking with someone, talking it out with another might help a lot with you seeing something from a different perspective that might then help change or reframe your mindset in a way that is a lot healthier or a lot more conducive or is easier for you to work with. Right? Because what just came to mind is having a more flexible mindset. But a lot of you could definitely be informing yourselves, like researching ways on how to improve upon something, how to assist yourself through something, or just assist yourself. Or you could be researching who you can go to for assistance, who you can go to for professional advice or counseling or assistance. But I do see that this Aries season is about improving your mindset, helping yourself out, seeking or creating a healthier lifestyle, healthier routine. And with Mercury, since this is the planet of communication, this also makes me think of engaging or consuming content and information that is actually helpful to you, right? That doesn't just induce brain rot, but actually helps to improve your mind and encourages a more flexible mindset, or helps exercise your brain, because I do see you consuming or acquiring valuable information this Aries season. And foxes could be an important symbol, sign, animal, could be a power or spirit animal of yours, or a good omen as well. I'm seeing foxes, crows, ravens, or blackbirds. I just heard the word podcast, so some of you could be listening to podcasts that are quite informative and healthy or helpful. I see some of you deterring or moving away from like gossip forums, like forums or podcasts that really don't have a theme, is how it's coming through. I'm not sure what that might mean. And moving more towards like podcasts or forums that are more constructive, that offer helpful or valuable advice, wisdom or guidance. Also could offer day-to-day advice or techniques possibly. But there's something here about like slow, like feeling more inclined to watch things that are a little bit more slow paced, or that don't bombard you with information, especially unnecessary information. Because this moon here is making me think of a target of minimizing or filtering. So you could be filtering what you're searching so that you won't get distracted by other things. It's like you're only researching what you're aiming to know more about, and anything that isn't related to that, you're kind of like leaving it to the side again, so that it won't distract you or end up overwhelming you. At least that's what I sense for some of you. And a lot of you could actually be choosing to focus more on you, because I did mention something about like a gossip forum. So it's like if you tend to consume a lot of content or information that pertains to others, maybe to worldly matters or just like celebrities or just other people, you could this Aries season decide to switch your attention to you and focus more on you and what you need, or focus more on you and your relationships, your life, etc. Yeah, because it could be for some that focusing on others or what is happening in the world or outside of your own sphere could be a way of distracting yourself from doing the inner work or attending to things that you need to attend to help yourself out and so forth. So that message could be for a select few. Again, only take that which resonates, but definitely I do see an improvement in your mindset, or working to improve your mindset. And this tree bending is making me think of resilience, like creating resilience, mental resilience, and the knowing that you don't have to break if a harsh wind comes your way, because you can bend and move with the currents of the wind instead. And it's kind of like learning how to do that by building that resilience, creating a healthier mindset, a more flexible mindset or mentality. Okay, and then interesting how I mentioned Mercury retrograde, and then we have Mercury here. Yeah, so there could be a moment in which you will find that things are slowing down, or you will be called to pause. And this is intentional, because it's almost as if the universe is giving you the time so that you can slow down to introspect and to self-assess and to think about your life and think about yourself and what is needed and so forth. So use this pause or this slowing down, if you do experience it, to your advantage. The colors red, orange, as well as the shade black could be of significance. These could be like your favorite colors or your favorite shade. And you could be benefiting from taking a stroll in the afternoons, early mornings, evenings, or from seeing beautiful sceneries, just enjoying the vistas. That could be very meditative and soothing or healing for some of you guys. You could find yourself doing that quite a bit. Because I did speak of like winds, it could be getting pretty windy wherever you are residing or will be located during this Pisces season. There could be some strong winds. Yeah, but these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. And to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them run in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to your spirit guides and my spirit team for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful Pisces season. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So the expression wreaking havoc, as well as the message bringing about change, came to mind when meditating on the energy of this group. And so intuitively, I sense that this Aries season, you yourself could be wreaking havoc, in that you might be entering into a space, an environment, an industry, and with your actions, your ideas, your approach, or just your presence alone, bringing about some kind of change. And I don't know if you noticed, but my camera all of a sudden moved and unfocused, and I had to set it up again so that everything will be in frame. So again, that makes me think of like shifting things around. So that could be the case for some of you, while for others of you, it could be that during this Aries season, you will be experiencing some unexpected changes. For some, it could be that someone will be coming into your life during this Aries season and turning your world upside down is how it's coming through, or that's how it might feel like to you in the moment or just during this Aries season. And for whatever reason, I keep thinking of a child, like a niece or a nephew. So for those who do have nieces, nephews, younger siblings or cousins, it could be that this Aries season they're coming to visit, or maybe you will get an opportunity to look after them, take care of them sometime during this Aries season. And it is your nieces, nephews, younger siblings, or cousins that are going to wreak havoc this season, because I am picking up a rambunctious or loud, very energetic presence. So yeah, you could be dealing with someone who it's kind of hard to keep up with them, or who just has a lot of energy. Yeah, but now I'm going to draw out or pull out a card more like, and to do this I will be working with the pendulum. So the pendulum will direct us to where your card is. Okay, so I'm seeing over here. Oh, and we have the 10th house with Sun in Capricorn and the key term achievement. Beautiful. So the 10th house is the house of public image, life direction, career, profession, social status. And according to this Oracle Deck's guidebook, it's also the house of attitudes to parenting. And that stood out to me because I talked about possibly looking after younger children. So that could be the case for some of you. You could be babysitting or looking after children this Aries season. And I see this being quite an experience, especially if this is your first time babysitting. That is, of course, if these messages are resonating with you. And because we do have this campus here, one thing that is coming to mind is this Aries season, some of you could be visiting either a school campus, an amusement park, or a museum. The word field also just came to mind. Yet, seeing that we have the word achievement here, this Aries season, you will either be celebrating an achievement, or you will be achieving either a goal or some kind of milestone with the 10th house. And because once again, this illustration is making me think of a campus. For those of you who are applying to schools or institutions, universities, colleges, this Aries season, you will be receiving news that you have been accepted into one or more universities, for example, schools or institutions. Yeah, so you may be receiving an acceptance letter during this Aries season. And you receiving this acceptance letter is going to feel like a major, major achievement. I'm also sensing that some of you will be extended an invitation, maybe to visit a campus, to be part of an exclusive club or program, or try something out is how it's coming through. The word waitlist is coming to mind. So if you have been on the waitlist this Aries season, you will be hearing news that you're no longer on the waitlist because you either got a spot, you got accepted, or you got approved. Something along those lines. And for those of you who have been wanting to get on some kind of wait list, I do see you getting on this wait list, though I feel like a lot of you are coming out of a wait list. The achievement card can often indicate a feeling of responsibility, wanting to do a good job because they want to set a good example or because they want to build a good reputation. So this Aries season, you could feel like people are watching you, not in a creepy way, but like they are paying attention to what it is that you're doing. Or it could be that this Aries season, you are in some kind of position that makes it easier for others to observe you or see what it is that you're doing. Or with achievement, it could be that this Aries season, you are gaining a lot of exposure. And so you could be, let's say, in the public eye per se, or a lot of eyes could be on you or on your work, something that you're doing or creating or developing. But I do see you having this great sense of responsibility. So for a lot of you, this could be something like you have been promoted, or now you are some kind of leader, or you're leading a team, or you could feel like you're setting some kind of example, or like you could do that based on your position this Aries season. So an example that is coming to mind that might be the case for some of you is, let's say if you are the first generation to be accepted or to enter into a university or college, then you could feel like you're setting an example to your younger siblings, if you have any, or younger cousins, nieces, nephews, or you could feel like they are looking up to you. Because this statue here, it's making me think of like someone being put on a pedestal, or like someone is being looked up to. So that could be the case. Or this could be a situation in which maybe it's not you who is intentionally being like a role model, but it could be that other people are setting you as an example. It makes me think of like in a family situation where like aunties and uncles tend to set cousins as an example, like, see your cousin, they were able to get into a prestigious college, therefore so can you. Or if you study hard as your cousin, then you can be able to get into a good university. So that could be something that might be occurring during this Aries season. I'm not saying that this is like good or that it's bad, but it's just something that is coming through that might be occurring this season. Yeah, because I see you either receiving compliments, and if you're not receiving them directly, there are people complimenting you behind your back. So like without your awareness, they are talking or speaking highly of you. Or again, they're setting you as an example, or they're seeing you as a role model, or they're being inspired by you, by your accomplishments, maybe by your bravery, or by your intelligence. Your smartness is also how it's coming through. Yeah, so there are people who admire you, whether you are aware of it or not, which is something quite interesting, because you, by simply doing you, by being you are gaining positive recognition. People are really proud of you, or people look up to you. And so this is only encouragement for you to keep doing you, right? To not feel any pressure to be a certain way or to meet a certain standard or an expectation, because you, as you're doing, as you have been doing, is already quite admirable. And the word preparations is coming to mind. So this Aries season, you could be making some kind of preparations. What came through is to transition. to transition into a new environment or into something new, but it could be preparations to proceed along with something or to meet some kind of requirements. But there is this feeling of getting ready for something new, or getting ready to get back to something. It's making me think of like go back to school, for example, or get back on track is how it's coming through. But with achievement, this is also making me think of how this Aries season, you could definitely be bringing something new to the table. So remember how I mentioned that this season you yourself could be wreaking havoc, in the sense of you could be bringing about change. So if you are entering into a new environment, for example, if you have been applying to jobs and you recently got a job and this Aries season, it's your first day at work, or you have been getting settled into a new work environment, new workplace, then you could be bringing in something fresh, something different into this work environment, work system, or workplace. Because I am getting a fresh energy, very youthful, invigorative. And again, the interesting thing about this is that you yourself might not feel that way, right? Like if it's you bringing in something fresh and new, you yourself might feel like what you're bringing to the table, like your ideas, your way of doing things, your way of working is not unique, or it's not different, or it's not fresh, yet it is, right? Or it is to this new environment or industry or field, if that is the case for some of you, or even campus, like school campus. It could also be that some of you are entering into a space that is quite different from the spaces that you've frequent or that you're used to. You could be entering into an environment that is unfamiliar, or that feels to you out of this world, because it is so different from what you are used to. So this is making me think of when someone travels to a new country that has completely different traditions, customs than from the country they grew up in. So that could be the case for some of you, where you're literally traveling somewhere completely new, where they might speak a different language, where the weather maybe might be completely different. And so stepping into this country could feel like stepping into a whole new world. And the song A Whole New World by Aladdin is coming to mind, because there was one point in your reading before I pulled out this card that I thought of a magic carpet ride. So the movie, the Disney movie Aladdin, could be of significance for some of you. Are some of you enrolling in a foreign exchange student program? Or are you enrolling in a study abroad program? Because that is something that is coming through. And so if you apply to it, you will be getting accepted. And so maybe some of you are making preparations for that if you are already enrolled per se. Yeah, and for some, this could feel like a major achievement, especially if this was something that a lot of people were applying to and only a very select few were able to get in. You being one of them could feel like a major achievement or accomplishment if this is something you've been really wanting. But it doesn't have to be just about a study abroad program. This could be pertaining to anything if that doesn't really apply to you. Anything that was really sought after, or only a few people got selected for or approved for. But achievement is also making me think of a personal achievement. So these could be like small wins as well. For example, if during Aries season you find something to be quite challenging and you are able to face this challenge head on and overcome it or learn a lot from it, that could feel like a personal win. Or if like you're dealing with a problem, it could be with like a life issue or just a literal problem, like a math problem or a technical problem, and you're able to figure it out or find the solution to it or the answer, that could feel like a personal win. Yeah, so I do see you experiencing personal or small wins, victories this Aries season. But for our clarifier, we have the Nine of Cups. Oh, this is beautiful. In the upright with dreams come true, satisfaction, and abundance. So the Nine of Cups often speaks about wish fulfillment, more specifically of you getting exactly what it is that you've been wanting and or striving for. So the Nine of Cups can speak about indulgence and contentment, or just someone feeling quite pleased with themselves. And so this Aries season, I do see you again achieving something that you've either been striving for, or you getting something that you've been wishing for or hoping for. I also see things working out your way or how you wanted them to. So the expression that just came to mind was getting your way. So that could be the case as well. But the Nine of Cups is inspiring a lot of hope. So I do see you being very hopeful this Aries season. I sense that there's something that you really, really want, something that you're wishing for. The song that now just came to mind was When You Wish Upon a Star, which comes out in the Disney movie Pinocchio. So that Disney movie or that song could be of significance, but there's this feeling of setting your heart on something. So this Aries season, some of you are setting your heart on something. And this could be something new. Like it is during Aries season that you're finding out that you want something or that you really want something. So you could have a new dream or a new goal, but it feels more like a dream, like a new kind of wish that is really inspiring you, enlightening your spirit, because I'm feeling hopeful and enthusiastic about the future. So that could be how you will be feeling sometime during Aries season because of this new dream, this new wish, new goal, even desire for some. Because the expression that is coming to mind is, I really, really want this. I really want this. So there could be something new that you will be striving for during this Aries season. But definitely, apart from this, there is something that you are achieving as well. An old wish of yours is coming true for some, or your previous hopeful expectations are being met this Aries season. And we do have satisfaction here. So I do see you feeling quite satisfied with the results or with an outcome, or quite satisfied with yourself, quite satisfied with how something is progressing, something is moving. Because the 10th house has to do with career, a lot of you could be feeling quite satisfied in your career, in your profession, at work, with what it is that you're working on, doing, developing. You could feel like you found your calling, for example, or your life's purpose, or like you are fulfilling or working on your life's purpose or life's mission is what came to mind. So only claim that if that resonates with you. And looking at the word achievement, I just thought of the word acquire. So with the 9 of Cups, if there's something that you've been wanting, like a tangible object, an item, I do see you acquiring it this season. I do see you having it. Oh, and right now what I sense was gratitude. I see a lot of you being very, very grateful for how things are turning out, or the fact that things are turning around. There's this feeling of seeing the light of day, or seeing how something is bettering or improving. So a lot of you could be feeling very hopeful because you are seeing betterment or experiencing betterment, or you are seeing growth, progress, and that's only fueling you and reinforcing your faith. Or how it's coming through is a lot of you are taking this as a confirmation that either you're on the right track, on the right path, or that you have always been, and that you're heading in the right direction. Yeah, because with the 9 of Cups, it gets strong feelings of confirmation, like receiving validation. So that could be the case for a lot of you. Like you're receiving external validation, or you could be experiencing like synchronicities or signs that feel like a confirmation to you from the universe. And that is only encouraging you and motivating you to keep moving forward. And it's sort of like reassuring, because I feel this deep sense of reassurance and relief, like, I knew it. Like all is good, I'm doing good, all is well, and all will be well. And the expression that just came to mind is I've made it. So that's how some of you might feel. So you might be reaching a point this Aries season where you feel like, yeah, you've made it, or like, yeah, you're in a much better place now than you were maybe a couple of months ago or a couple of years back. And I see a lot of you feeling like it was worth it, like the journey was worth it, or the working towards something was worth it, or even the being patient about or for something was worth it. And the 9 of Cups is also making me think of what you're experiencing in Aries season. It's fueling your ambition, because what I heard right now was we're not stopping. We're not stopping, we're simply going. And the Nine of Cups can often speak about the law of attraction, attracting more of that which you want to experience. So that could be the case for a lot of you, where you're attracting more of that which you are receiving or experiencing, because what you are receiving or experiencing, it's exactly what you want, or it feels good, it encourages you, it empowers you, or it's helping to create or develop something that you want to see come to fruition. Yeah, so there's this feeling of your world is expanding. Disney could be quite important or significant for a lot of you. Some of you could be Disney fans, or you could be visiting Disneyland because I did mention an amusement park. So some of you could definitely be visiting Disneyland during Aries season, or you could be invited to this amusement park, but it doesn't have to be Disneyland. It could be any other amusement park as well. But now I want to pull out some homemade divination dice. So this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. Therefore, if you're using headphones or earphones with the volume way up, considering lowering down the volume to protect your eardrums. So I will start in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I really like the dice that fell out for you guys. We have the hammer and the 4-leaf clover. So the 4-leaf clover indicates luck and good fortune. I often associate the 4-leaf clover with the expression being at the right place at the right time. So this season, you will be experiencing a lot of luck, but with the hammer being here, it makes me think of a lot of the good things that you are experiencing. You might associate or relate to luck or getting lucky or fortunate, but most of it has more to do with your hard work, your dedication, your perseverance, your tenacity, right? Because it seems like with the hammer, you have been working towards something. You have been putting in the work, and it's paying off. It's reaping you rewards. And this is the very thing that is increasing or has increased your luck, possibly. It's like you're the one who's building your fortune. You're the one who's created your luck. So all the good you are experiencing is also due to you. So remember to give yourself a pat on the back as well, to thank yourself, to think past you, right? Because even if in the past there were moments of doubt, of hesitation, you still found it in you, or that version of you still found it in them to get back up again, to try again, or to do things differently, to not give up. And now you're here celebrating victories. Now you're here hopeful about the future, because what you're experiencing right now lets you know that good things do come and more good things can continue coming in. And that a lot of the lessons we experienced in the past can be used as tools to help us grow and even to learn how to create our own luck. Because that's definitely what I'm seeing here with these two. But this also makes me think of your luck turning around. And we do have this wheel here in the achievement card, or at least I'm seeing it like as a wheel. So again, this makes me think of things turning around for you for the better, or you seeing improvement, you being at some kind of peak. So you could be experiencing some kind of peak this season. I just thought of the expression peak season. What also just came to mind is working with the universe, co-creating with the universe. So you are doing that this season, but I feel like you have been doing that. There's something here about you manifesting and attracting with the 9 of Cups, but at the same time also creating in the physical 3D, doing that which you can in this 3D to move things along, to make dreams of yours come true. Some of you could actually be volunteering this Aries season, or you are in some kind of volunteering program that helps to make the dreams of others come true. And that's a very beautiful thing. What just came to mind was the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it doesn't have to be that specifically. It could be something else, because with the hammer here, I also thought of like people or volunteering programs who help to construct houses, build houses, or shelters for others. Some of you could be part of a foundation, a nonprofit, or maybe that's a dream of yours. Maybe that's a dream that is awakening sometime during Aries season. But yeah, only take that which resonates, right? Because that doesn't have to apply for every single one of you who chose this group. This energy is very, very beautiful. It feels very lighthearted. Again, I keep using this word. It feels very hopeful, optimistic, but not in an unhealthy way. It feels level-headed, but very open to the possibilities, very open to creating and to making things happen. And the hammer could also be indicating you working towards achieving a goal or making a dream come true. So that could be the case as well. But with the 4-leaf clover, definitely this season you could find yourself experiencing being at the right place at the right time. Yeah, you could also be spending time with someone who is quite youthful, energetic, someone who is optimistic or has this very fresh perspective or perception on life, and they could be the ones inspiring you or reminding you that our perspective, our perception is really important, and it often shapes our reality, and it's the very thing that can often make or break, right? So yeah, someone could be getting you back into that youthful, playful, lighthearted spirit, but it could be the other way around, where you're the one who's inspiring someone else, or a group of people, a multitude of people is how it's coming through, or an industry as well. Because I see you bringing smile to people's faces, or you're the one who's bringing in light, or who is inspiring hope. There's this feeling of clearing away the darkness. And it's like you're doing so without even trying. You're doing so just with your presence alone, or just with your way of seeing things, your way of thinking. But now I want to pull out an oracle card to get any last messages, advice, or guidance for you guys. The number 10 can often indicate endings or completion. So you could be completing something during this Aries season. Okay. And we have forward thinking with Capricorn. You have Capricorn twice in your spread. So some of you could be a Capricorn sun, moon, or rising sign, or you could have Capricorn somewhere in your natal chart, but also someone who has a strong Capricorn placement in their natal chart could be playing a significant role in your life, or Capricorn season in and of itself could be quite significant, pivotal, or important for you guys. But we have a raven hides its food cache. With the message, a raven is one of the few animals that demonstrates the capacity for delayed gratification. There is a benefit to thinking about what you may need or want in the future. This is your gentle reminder to plan ahead. Interesting. So what I find interesting, first and foremost, is that ravens and crows or blackbirds came through for group 1, and there was a message about delayed gratification or not falling into instant gratification tendencies or habits for group 1. So some of you could have been drawn to group 1 as well, but ravens could be an important symbol, sign, good omen for you, or it could be a spirit or power animal of yours. I often think of ravens or crows as a symbol of protection, so that could be the case for some of you, but for a lot of you, ravens could be how your ancestors or loved ones who are on the other side come through for you to let you know that they are connecting with you, or they have a message for you, or they are looking after and over you, as well as your loved ones. But interesting that this raven has a star in their beak, because we do have a star here in the 9 of Cups. So stars could also be an important symbol or sign or a good omen. But stars make me think of the star card in traditional tarot, which can also speak of wish fulfillments, and it's associated with the zodiac sign Aquarius. And Aquarius is known to be innovative and who paves the way, who could be a trailblazer. So yeah, this season you could be the one paving the way, or you could be the one starting something new, or an idea of yours that you might not think much of, or maybe you do, could be the next big thing, or could be the thing that will pave the way or start something new. But with the message of delayed gratification, I feel like that's what a lot of you have been doing. You have been applying yourself, you have been disciplined, and your determination, your willingness to achieve something, to see something through, to make your dreams a reality, to put in the effort and put in the necessary work, it's paying off. It feels almost like you're being rewarded for it. But, you know, more than rewarded, it's like this Aries season, people or spirit universe, they're giving you a standing ovation. Because I'm sensing someone or an energy looking at you in amazement, like feeling so very proud. And that could be yourself. Like you yourself could be feeling very proud of you. A lot of you could be taking the time to give yourself a pat on the back or to celebrate yourself. But this Aries season, I feel like you are achieving a long-term goal or something is coming together, because now I'm thinking of a 5-year plan. So if you had a 5-year plan, it could be that you're reaching the last stages of this, or you're seeing that most of what you planned, you have accomplished or you are accomplishing. And that could in itself have you feeling quite proud and satisfied. I also feel like this Aries season, a lot of you could be taking the time to plan or to think ahead. Or like I said, with the 9 of Cups, there could be a new dream or maybe a new vision. Maybe some of you are now recognizing or becoming aware of what it is that you do want to create, what motivates you, what gets you pumped up. And in you knowing this, now you can either set up a plan or set something in motion or get started. Especially if in the past you found it difficult to move forward because you weren't very sure what it is that you wanted to do or focus on. But I get a very fun vibe from this spread. I don't feel any pressure. Although I did mention discipline, it doesn't feel cutthroat. So yes, I see you applying yourself and possibly planning and organizing or getting organized and being serious about this, but not taking it too seriously, where you forget to have fun or where you take yourself too seriously that you're expecting yourself to be perfect or do perfect. There's more so this feeling of going along for the ride. Like, I know where I want to go, but I'm also open to the possibilities. Like, I'm also open to learning. I'm also open to growing and exploring new things along the way, or maybe even changing my mind at some point, because I know that as I grow, my interests and my goals could change, right? Because that tends to happen when someone evolves. Yeah, so there's this openness I am sensing here, but definitely I see this ambition, I see this desire to create. Yeah, and for some, this could be an advice. Like, if you do have something you want to achieve or accomplish, it might help if you make some kind of plan, right? And it doesn't have to be, again, cutthroat or super detailed. It could just be something like a loose guideline, for example, that will help you better understand, like, what it is that you need to focus on, or what are the requirements if this is something that has requirements, so that then you can start checking things off of the to-do list. And this Aries season, a lot of you could be feeling quite optimistic because maybe you are receiving news that something is feasible or plausible, or that you are eligible. And that could have you feeling invigorated. It could also be the thing that is motivating you to start planning or to start moving forward or setting something in motion, or possibly even applying to places or considering your options. Beautiful, beautiful energy here. And, you know, this raven picking up this star is making me think of you picking up your rewards, your blessings, you reaping your rewards. And it's also making me think of compliments or even tips. Some of you could be receiving generous tips this season. And instead of you rejecting these, you're embracing them, you're accepting them. This season, you could be saving quite a bit of money because I do see you collecting resources or collecting money is how it's coming through. So if there are people who owe you money, they will be paying you back this season, or you might be asking them to pay you back. Or like I said, some of you could be collecting tips because you are receiving a lot of tips. Or donations also. Some of you could be getting a bonus if you do work a 9 to 5, or financial aid if that applies for you. But it could also be financially you're doing a lot better. You're seeing an increase in financial income perhaps. Some of you might actually be gifted money this Aries season, or gifted items of great monetary value. That's how it's coming through. And if money is coming in, this could be the thing that you are attracting more of, like showing gratitude for, and in that attracting more of it, or more financial opportunities perhaps. Yeah, stars could definitely be of significance because we have stars here in the achievement card, and the 9 of Cups, and then the forward thinking card. Some of you could have been born in the year of the dog, or someone who was born in the year of the dog could be playing a significant role. Flowers, especially red flowers, puppies or peonies came to mind, could be of significance. There's something about a tattoo. You could be getting a tattoo, or someone who has a tattoo could be playing a significant role in your life. Four-leaf clovers could also be an important symbol, sign, or good omen for you during this Aries season. Some of you could literally be stumbling upon a four-leaf clover. Oh, and there could be an upgrade in work tools or study tools. Yes. Or there could be an update in a software that will improve the quality of your work or work efficiency or productivity. Yeah, there's something here about you getting lucky with your work tools or with the software or malware, hardware, something along those lines. And it's interesting because I think we are already in Mercury retrograde, or we will enter Mercury retrograde at some point during Aries season. But, with these two, it feels like you will be protected from the effects of Mercury retrograde. So I wonder if some of you have Mercury retrograde in your natal chart. Yeah, so the effects of Mercury retrograde won't hit you that hard, or you won't experience any of its effects during the retrograde season, especially during Aries season while it's still ongoing. Okay, but the last thing that is coming to mind is luck is on your side. We are so proud of you. You are truly a gemstone to admire or behold. Oh, and I just heard the expression diamond in the rough, which is an expression that comes out of the Disney movie Aladdin. Yeah, so some of you could be literally living that whole underdog story, like rising to the top, or no one saw you coming, but now you're here taking the world by storm. Something along those lines. There could be some construction working going on where you live, or where you will be spending most of your time in during Aries season. Yeah, so for some, you might need to plan or schedule beforehand accordingly to avoid this construction. So that might apply to those who are students, who are studying, because maybe this is like something that is happening on campus, or for those of you who work from home, or maybe who film like me. So the advice here is don't try to fight against it, but work your way around it. And this could apply to any other situation where there might be inconveniences. You're being advised to not expend your energy trying to fight against it, but more so work around it. Because, ravens or crows, they're very intelligent, very smart, witty, and crafty. So they problem solve by looking for solutions instead of trying to bulldoze through a problem. So I feel like that's kind of the advice for you during this Aries season. Use your wit, your ingenuity, your problem-solving skills, your critical thinking to work your way through something or to find a solution or an alternative. Because that will save you a lot of time, and that will make the experience a lot more pleasant for you, and it will also produce better outcomes. Remember, make your own luck, make your own good fortune. You are the creator of your destiny, okay? But these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides, as well as your spirit power animals and ancestors for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you are watching. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. So first and foremost, are any of you clairaudient, or do you experience clairaudience, which is the ability to channel messages through your auditory senses? If you are, or if you do, then this could be serving as a confirmation that there are messages in this reading meant for you to hear at this moment. But if not, then this Aries season, you may be experiencing clairaudience. So just something to be aware of this season. Yet throughout this time, I do see you focusing on either a specific project or task, maybe on completing it by a certain deadline, or there's something about you being invested in something. And for a lot of you, I feel like this could be a DIY project or something that you're doing outside of your primary job per se, or outside of school if you're currently students. But if not, this could be something related to work or to school or school activities. Because what just came to mind was training. Some of you could be training for an event or for a competition. A sports competition is what came to mind, but it could also be something like a decathlon, but it could be any other kind of training. Some of you could be hitting the gym during this Aries season, or working with weights or exercising equipment. But again, only claim that which resonates and or applies. But now I'm going to draw out a card. So to do this, I will work with the pendulum. The pendulum will direct us to your card. So it seems like your card is somewhere over here. Ooh, so we have the first house with Moon and Aries and the key term protection. Interesting. So you could have an Aries moon or Aries in your first house, but you don't have to for the messages to apply. That is if they are resonating with you. Because with Moon in Aries, this is hinting at inspired action or you taking action after having received some download or intuitive guidance. With the moon here, it seems like your psychic senses are going to be quite sensitive or active during this season. So your psychic senses or your intuition will be informing you quite a bit during this time. So what I'm seeing is someone getting a gut feeling about something, and instead of ignoring it, they pay attention to it and take action in accordance to this gut feeling. So let's say if they all of a sudden feel like they shouldn't do something, or like they should slow down or take their time or not send out something like an email perhaps or a text message, or not go somewhere they were invited to, or not participate in something, confide in someone perhaps, or trust in someone, instead of doubting it or ignoring it, they are following those feelings, those gut feelings, those instinctual feelings, and it's serving them. It's protecting them. And so I see this being your case during this Aries season. The word or name shaman just came to mind. So some of you could be a shaman, or you could be practicing shamanism or looking more into shamanic rituals during Aries season. But shaman made me think of wisdom, of someone who is quite attuned to the energy around them, to nature, the elements. And so that could be you during this Aries season. But also what came to mind was mind reader. So some of you could be experiencing telepathy, or at times it could feel like you are reading people's mind because you are able to predict in a way their actions beforehand, or you are able to accurately foreshadow what someone will say or what they will do, or others' responses or reactions. So apart from you being quite attuned to the energy around you, I do also see you being quite observant, where you're either accurately reading people's intentions or just reading people based on their mannerism, their behavior, their posture, their tone, and so forth. So I feel the advice for this Aries season is to trust in yourself, because you're doing, or you will be doing, a pretty good job of either discerning or making out what is actually going on behind the scenes, or interpreting things is how it's coming through. And your intuition, your senses, they are guiding you. They are providing you with accurate information as well. Now, protection is making me think of contraceptives. So for those of you who are sexually active, or you will be sexually active during this Aries season, you are being advised to use protection. That is, of course, if pregnancy is not in your near or future plans. Yeah, and this might be coming through because with the moon here, there is a high likelihood of getting pregnant this Aries season. That is if you are sexually active. Now, because we do have a tiger here, some of you could have been born in the year of the tiger, and this is just serving as a confirmation. Or maybe someone who was born in the year of the tiger will be playing a significant role in your life during this Aries season. Or tigers could be a spirit animal of yours or power animal, or they could be a good omen, an important symbol or sign for this Aries season. But for those of you who are parents, especially mothers, your maternal instincts could be kicking in pretty strongly this Aries season. So you could be defending your child or standing up for your child, not mattering what age they currently are. Because although we have a tiger here or a tigress, what is coming through is the energy or the vibe of a mama bear. So that could be you at some point during this Aries season. Again, if you are a mother or if you are a parent or a caregiver. And because we do have an animal here, this could also apply for those of you who are, what's the phrase that is often used on social media? Furry parents or animal parents. If you take care of a furry animal or of an animal, you could be feeling a bit overprotective of your animal companion or furry friend, or children if you have children, even younger siblings if that is the case for you. Yeah, so if it's not standing up for someone that you look after and or care for or provide for, this could be something like feeling very protective of them during this Aries season. And this could be the other way around too, where your parent or parent-like figure could be feeling very protective over you regardless of your current age. This could even be a spouse or a significant other if you're currently married or in a committed relationship. They could be feeling very protective over you, or again, vice versa. There's something here about like you making it very clear, or someone making it very clear to not mess with their loved ones or with their family. But what else is coming through is this season you could be defending something of your own, something that you yourself created, like an original work. You could be advocating for it, or you could be protecting it via some kind of legality. Is that the best way to phrase it? Like, it makes me think of a creative who's done an original work, and they could be copywriting it or patenting it to protect it from it being stolen or used for other things, etc. But for others of you, it could be something like you are advocating or fighting for something that you worked on to be seen or to be published, is how it's coming through, or to be acknowledged, to be considered. The example that is coming to mind, and this is just an example, it doesn't have to be the situation for every single one of you, is that of someone who is at a meeting, business meeting or work meeting, speaking up about an idea of theirs or something they've been developing with the intention of it being considered for the next project or for the current project, or for it to be integrated or applied in a work system or in the company, or in the company's motto is what came to mind, something along those lines. Yeah, so some of you could be speaking up during this Aries season, or you could be setting your foot down is also how it's coming through. Because something else that I'm seeing is someone not being happy with how something or someone is being treated, or with a certain approach, and they're not staying quiet about it. They're speaking up about it. And I keep hearing the phrase, my baby, and this doesn't necessarily have to pertain to an actual baby, but this could all be something that you consider to be like your baby, like a project that you consider to be your baby, because the idea came from you, or you gave birth to the idea and you nurtured it, you developed it. And I see you being very protective of this, or making sure that it's treated well, is how it's coming through, that it's respected. But this could also be pertaining to like your boundaries, you having very strong boundaries this Aries season, you defending yourself, standing up for yourself, standing up for your ideas, especially in a work situation, but it doesn't have to be the case for, all of you. This could be in any kind of environment where you feel like it's necessary to actually stand up for yourself or set your boundaries. And the expression that just came to mind was, you will be, or you are a force to be reckoned with. So this Aries season, if it just happens to be the case that someone wants to mess with you or mess with something that you love, or something related to you that you yourself created, built, or developed, they won't be able to. They could try, but they won't be able to. And there's even this feeling of they shouldn't even try. Because the tiger here is also letting me know that you are protected. So either you're protected by the law is how it's coming through, by some kind of law or clause, or you're protected by your status. But also what I'm sensing here is you being protected by the divine, by spirit, by universe, even by your ancestors or loved ones who are on the other side. You have very strong, powerful deities on your side. So yeah, and they could smell trouble from a mile away, right? They can see it coming, and they could be the ones who are hinting at you or letting you know, like, hey, that person is not to be trusted, or don't put your info there because that website is shady as F. There could be the one whispering in your ear, kind of giving you a hint about what is safe and what isn't, and deterring you away from anything that isn't of your highest good. Yeah, so remember, when it comes to deities, when it comes to spirit, let's say, they do respect our free will. So if you want of their assistance, guidance, and protection, you would have to consent to it, ask for it. Just keep that in mind if that is something that you want, not only for this Aries season, but at any time. And once you consent or once you ask for their assistance, they will provide the assistance or intervene if it is necessary. Because the tiger here is making me think of blocking. There could be some blocking going on. So if someone ends up blocking you, I'm not sure how you might take that, but what I'm sensing based on the energy here is that that would be a good thing, because this person blocking you is actually you being divinely protected, right? It's making me think of that expression, rejection is divine protection. And this could be a situation in which maybe that person who blocked you, or whatever blocked you, was someone or something that you yourself were thinking about blocking. Or at some point you yourself would have ended up blocking as well. So it just happened a little ahead of time to keep you safe, is how it's coming through. But this could also be indicating any energy that is not good is being blocked. So if you experience like a slowing down, or if certain things or certain people aren't coming around, it could be because of this, right? So an example that is coming to mind is person B hasn't seen person A in a while. And they're wondering why, if we usually meet up. And it's because person A currently has a cold. And the universe is making it so that person A and person B don't bump into each other, so that person B won't catch person A's cold. So that's just an example, because this could be a temporary thing, right? Like maybe someone is in a bad mood, or something is not yet of good quality. And so it could be kept at a distance from you during this time, so that you won't end up experiencing that, right? So again, that was just an example, and something that you're kind of being advised to keep in mind during this Aries season, because the moon is making me think of like phases, right? So how it's being conveyed to me is that there's a lot going on, like collectively there's a lot going on during this time. And so, you know, people could be going through some phases, or some things, actual things could be going through some phases at this time. And yeah, maybe it's best for you to keep your distance away from certain things as you go through the motions, or as you go through a phase. Is how it's coming through, because there's this feeling of you coming into alignment, or you being aligned with people or with that who you can help or be helped by, who you can work amiably with. And anything that you cannot during this time, that's what is being either blocked or is being kept at a distance from you, or you're being kept at a distance from it. Interesting. Well, let me pull out a clarifier with the first house and the moon. Some of you could be working remotely during this Aries season, or working from home. There's something here about like taking work home, but it's not like taking extra work home, although that could be the case for some. But it feels more like instead of commuting to work, you're simply working from home, which is basically what I said before. Yeah, and again, for some, this could be like the usual thing, but for others, this could be temporary, something that is only occurring maybe during Aries season. But for a clarifier, we have the Queen of Swords with honest, protective, and quirky. So the Queen of Swords is an air sign, so that would be Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So you could be a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, or someone who is a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising sign could be playing a significant role in your life this Aries season. But I more so sense that whether you are an air sign or not, you are coming through as the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is someone who is highly intelligent, very witty, resourceful as well, and they know how to set their boundaries. The Queen of Swords doesn't take any sort of BS, and they don't BS around. So this Aries season, you're definitely setting your boundaries, and you're not keeping quiet. The Queen of Swords is vocal. The Queen of Swords speaks up when they feel it is completely, utterly necessary. They advocate for themselves. They advocate for others if they feel that is necessary and needed. So this Aries season, what came through is expect yourself to be vocal, or expect yourself to speak up and not keep quiet. I do see you. There's something here about fighting for your rights, or I keep mentioning this, but advocating for yourself, or advocating for something that you believe in, or something that you've been working on developing, or something that you have created. There could also be an idea that you're trying to set in motion. There's this feeling of doing your best to help others see, or to get something to be acknowledged by others. And so this Aries season could be about that. And you yourself could be the one who is detaining something or blocking something. There's something here about you not approving of something, and this being a big deal, because if this doesn't get your approval, then it doesn't go through, or it can't be further developed, or it can't get set into motion or applied, something along those lines. Yeah, so this Aries season, you could be in some kind of leadership role where you're the one making executive decisions, or you have the last call. Like, people need to go to you to get something approved. Yeah, and so there's something here about you having the last word, or your opinion being very important. Or this Aries season, there could be things that are being run by you. It's making me think of you giving authorizations, or referrals is also what came to mind, or references. But what also came to mind was an editor. So some of you could be editors or work at an editorial company, publishing company, but people could be running the last rough draft by you so that you can make the last edits, or that you can revise, so that then it can be published or sent out for authorization. So this seems like a pretty significant and important role. I gave several examples, but those are just examples to help illustrate the energy here. So apply the message to your situation accordingly if it does resonate. Also, this Aries season, some of you could be conversing or talking with a teacher, because that's kind of the vibe I got with protection when I mentioned defending or standing up for a child of yours if you are parents. So there could be a teacher-parent conference going on this Aries season, or you could be scheduling a meeting with the teacher, or with the school principal, or with the tutor, to talk about how your child is doing at school, or to bring something to an educator's awareness is how it's coming through. But this could also be the other way around. I'm getting a lot of like vice versa situations where maybe you're the teacher, you're the counselor, you're the student, you're the educator or trainer, because I did speak about training, and you're the one setting up a meeting with a parent or with a caretaker, a caregiver, a provider, to bring something to the parent's awareness. And there's something here about being very straightforward or cutting to the chase, but in a very respectful and eloquent way. And the Queen of Swords is also making me think of this season, you're not dealing with other people's problems, right? So you're only taking on that which is your responsibility, or part of your responsibilities. Anything else, you're not dealing with it, or you're not taking it on. You're not making it your responsibility. And this could be one of the ways in which you're standing up for yourself, if it is often the case that people that you work with, or that maybe you even provide a service to, leave you with all the work, or are not accountable, or tend to put the blame on you, or tend to hand over their responsibilities to you. So this season, you're like, nuh-uh, I'm done with that. So this season, I see you holding others accountable. But again, with the Queen of Swords being in the upright, you're doing it in such an eloquent, sophisticated, and professional way. It's not like in the pointing fingers or throwing people under the bus sort of thing, because that's not holding people accountable. That's more like gossiping and some kind of other type of energy. This is more so about, setting your boundaries and being very aware of what your responsibilities are and what your limits are as well. And, you know, not taking, there's something I hear about not taking on the blame. Like if someone is trying to blame you for something or is trying to make you feel responsible for something that you're not responsible at all for, you're not letting that happen. You're seeing things in a very logical and professional way where you can see the situation through an objective perspective and possibly find solutions without needing to put the blame on anybody or falling into this bit or bait of someone trying to make you responsible for something that was in your responsibility in the first place. You're like, no, I see what you're doing and I don't claim it, because the Queen of Swords sees through people's intention, which is what was mentioned at the beginning, right? You being able to see or kind of make out what people's intentions are beforehand. So I see that being confirmed with the Queen of Swords. And you're coming through as very professional, and very mature as well, because this energy is coming through very strong. I want to be clear that this has nothing to do with being disrespectful, being mean, or being rude, because if that were the case, the Queen of Swords would have showed up in the reversal, but the Queen of Swords showed up in the upright. So there's something about you can get your point across without needing to insult or without being disrespectful. And you could also set your boundaries without any of that. But now let me pull out some homemade divination dice, and this part of the reading might get pretty loud and noisy. So if you're wearing headphones or earphones and with the volume way up, please consider lowering down the volume to protect your eardrums. But I will start in 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay, so I feel like one more. I guess that's it. Okay, so, ooh, interesting. So we have the tea, or the teacup, the cactus, the airplane, and then this stick figure, which is meant to represent a child or children. Or childish energy. So with the tea, it immediately made me think of spilling the tea, or of you letting things play out, not getting involved in drama or chaos while you're calmly sipping your tea. You know, so this season, you're not getting involved in any drama. And if there's people who are like prickly or sensitive during this Aries season, you're keeping your distance away from them, or you're not letting them influence you or affect your mood or affect you. Because with the cactus, people could be quite sensitive this Aries season. There could be some people who might want to start drama or try to poke at you to get a response out of you, but you're not really falling for it. You know, that's what I mentioned at one point, not taking the bait. And with the child here, this could definitely be speaking about childish behavior from others, that this could also indicate children. So children could be playing a significant role in your life this Aries season, but only take that if it resonates. And if you do have children, or if you take care of children or work with children, they could be a bit sensitive during this Aries season as well. It could be children who might be trying to get a reaction out of you, or maybe this is not their intention. They're just possibly going through something, you know, going through a phase is also what is coming through. Or they could be quite stressed, and that could result in them reacting fairly quickly. So that's just something that you're being given a heads up about, especially if you have children or you work with children. Because the tea is also making me think of like calm, maybe needing time to take a moment and find inner peace. But some of you could definitely be drinking a lot of tea during this time, especially chamomile tea is what came to mind. But something you are being let known of is you won't be given any energy that you won't be able to handle, right? Because I did mention you being protected. So anything that is actually quite harmful or not of your highest good won't get anywhere near you. And so if there are any difficult energies, these would be energies that the only reason why you're coming in contact with them is because you will be able to handle them, or you will be able to deflect them. Or because I mentioned something about you will only come into alignment with people or things or energies that you can help and that they can help you, like you can work together, then this could be something like, if you're dealing with a complicated energy, then it's because you can help this energy in some way without it negatively affecting you. So just again, that's something to keep in mind during this Aries season. But remember, you have free will, so you get to decide what you get involved with and what you don't, what you take on and what you don't. And then with the airplane here, a specific song came to mind, which is a K-pop song by the group iKON, and it's called Airplane. I don't know, that song could be of significance, or the K-pop group iKON could be of significance, but airplane is making me think of like distance, right? Something being long distance. Maybe some of you are in a long distance relationship, or there could be this physical distance between you and a loved one during this Aries season. Some of you could be traveling, but what I do sense is that someone who is at a physical distance could be traveling to you, to where you are at. They could be visiting you during this Aries season. But the airplane here could also be signifying keeping your distance away from certain people, or you being kept at a distance from certain people, especially if they are in a grumpy mood, etc. But if you do have plans to travel or take some kind of trip, whether it be short or long distance, and there is some kind of delay, or a trip gets canceled or postponed, or a flight gets canceled, again, this could be some form of protection, right? So there's something here about not forcing it, especially if it has to do with plans. Like if there are delays or things are not working out, you're being advised to just let it be, if possible, because the reason why there is delays or there is postponements or cancellations is because you are being protected from something. Think of it as this being blocked for a reason. So just keep that in mind. And something else is coming through this season. Be mindful of your communication. Remember, as mentioned previously, there's no need to be harsh, to be mean, to be rude. Because like I said, there's something happening in the collective. It could be because we are or we will be going through Mercury retrograde during Aries season. So people could be a bit ill-tempered, or we could find ourselves being a little bit more emotionally sensitive than usual, or people could just have trouble expressing themselves and are communicating well. So this is something that is temporary. It's just due to the energy, possibly. And so you don't want to say or do anything that you will later regret. So there's something here about minding your temper, or just being mindful of your communication as well as your actions during this Aries season. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out an extra oracle card to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance for you guys. Okay. Ooh. So we have leadership with Capricorn and material, and the key phrase geese fly in formation with the message, we should all have a chance to take the lead. Move to the front and spread your wings. In this position, no one can get in your way, but you have the force of the wind against you. Interesting. Yeah, so as mentioned, you could definitely be taking some kind of leadership position. You could be at the forefront of something. This season, you could be making executive decisions, or there could be people who are looking up to you or following your directions, your instructions. But I keep thinking of the expression being the bigger person, so that could resonate with some, especially during this Aries season. Yet with this message here, having the force of the wind against you. Yeah, there's something about responsibilities. You having more important responsibilities this season, or just needing to be discerning of what are your responsibilities, and being careful with not taking on the burden of others or faulting yourself for anything that you are not in actuality responsible for or is your responsibility. Yeah, because some of you could definitely be working in a team, or like I said, you could be overseeing a team or overseeing a project. And oftentimes, when that is the case, it is the leader who takes on the responsibility of the whole team and what the whole team is producing. Yet it's meant to be a team work effort, right? It's not always meant to solely fall on the one overseeing or the one at the forefront. So that's just something to keep in mind. And this message also really stood out to me. No one can get in your way, because it's once reminding me of you being protected, of energies not affecting you unless you give them permission to. At least that is how it's coming through. Yes, but let's see. Geese or birds could be of significance, could be an important animal, symbol, or good omen for this Aries season, as well as tigers or felines. We do have a crescent moon here, so this could also be an important symbol. And some of you could be residing in a dry location during this Aries season. The cactus, of course, made me think of like a desert, or somewhere like Arizona perhaps, or Las Vegas, Nevada. The geese here are making me think of migration, and that is making me think of the changing of the seasons. So again, I feel like you're being reminded that some of the things you will be experiencing this Aries season, it's temporary or it's seasonal. Again, I'm being reminded of moods. People could be in a certain mood, but it's only temporary. It's just a phase. So just keep that in mind as well. Or if there are issues because of Mercury retrograde, like issues with technology, issues with Wi-Fi, internet, electricity, issues with communication, again, this is temporary. It could just be occurring during Mercury retrograde, and as soon as Mercury retrograde comes to an end, then things will get back on track or back in order. Yeah, but something that is coming through, remember, just because someone might be going through something, it's never an excuse to be mean, to be rude. It's okay if you set your boundaries or if you create distance, if that is needed or preferable. And a lot of you could be learning what it takes to be a good leader, or you could be improving upon your leadership skills this Aries season. And once again, for the placements, we have Aries, air signs, and Capricorn. So these could be important zodiac signs. But these are all the messages that are coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. And to all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team, your spirit guides, and spirit animals for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you are watching. And until the next moment, bye bye.